What is up, Broncos Country? Happy Thursday to everybody. Preseason game number 2 tomorrow, and we got Bo Nix, who will be taking the field tomorrow. After how our offense looked last week, I can only imagine how much better it's going to look with Bo Nix at the helm tomorrow. So I'm excited for that. We got a lot of interesting and exciting things to kind of talk about. It's been a busy week for the Denver Broncos. Looks like we had a fight. We had our first real training camp fight. Every team goes through it. I was shocked to hear, though, that it was Bo Nix and Nik Bonitto who got into a tussle. That is crazy to me. You know, things get heated. Apparently, it's, it was just heat of the moment, brothers fight kind of thing. I know we hear that all the time, but it is true, man. Anybody who's ever suited up in pads and taken a football field, you know how it gets, bro. It gets a little bit dicey out there. It's hot, you're getting yelled at, you're not doing things right. Everybody gets heated. Apparently, Bo Nix was taken to the ground. He took exception to that. But I'm going to talk about why this is a good thing. That kind of fire from your starting quarterback can never be a bad thing. You want your starting quarterback to give it back to the defense, especially when you got a top flight defense like the Denver Broncos do. That's a great thing. You want to see that kind of fire from a young quarterback like Bo Nix. So that's exciting. Bo Nix apparently looks fantastic. He looks phenomenal at training camp. He had a 60-yard bomb to Jaylen Waddle at practice. And not just a 60-yard bomb to Jaylen Waddle. He threw it at Patrick Surtain. 60-yard bombs do not get caught very often, let alone on the best corner in the game. But that's exactly what happened at practice the other day. We're going to go over that a little bit. We got some Jonah Coleman fantasy outlook. I'm thinking of taking the guy on my fantasy team as maybe like a flex position. I don't know about you, but you can never have too many running backs, man. And the Broncos are utilizing that mindset in real life. So hopefully this run game will be many steps above where it was last year, which is only going to help the Broncos. It's only going to take this team a step further, and you know what further means. I mean, we were 14-3 last year, man. So the next step is a Super Bowl. We're trying to play in February. All of these teams are fighting to make it to January, right? The Chargers want to make it to January. The Chiefs want to make it to January. The Patriots want to get back to January. We're trying to make it to February. We don't care about January anymore, man. We want one of those. One of those. Jeez Louise. We want one of these guys here. That's what we're going for. We got some more Dan Orlovsky defending the Denver Broncos, man. These days, Dan Orlovsky seems like he might as well get himself a Broncos jersey. He seems like one of the biggest defenders of ours lately. So it is kind of exciting to be in a position where you do have some of these talking heads, some of these analysts, so to speak, on ESPN and what have you, that actually defend us and actually stick up for the Broncos and tell it like it is, man. A lot of people don't want to hear the truth, and the truth is the Denver Broncos are going to be a darn good team this year, and we should all be excited. And then, of course, we got new safety depth. That's right, the Denver Broncos just signed a new safety. And then we're going to discuss some of the things to expect in the Packers preseason game tomorrow. So cue the intro, man. Let's get it started. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications. If you want your weekly Denver Broncos content right here on the Altitude Report, I am Cy. For those that don't know, I am a lifelong Denver Broncos fan from the great state of Hawaii. That's right. Hawaii in the house, 808. So check out the channel. We are just kind of getting it up off the ground and running, and let's have some fun. Let's have some fun, Broncos Country. Let's dive right into some of the stuff I wanted you to take a look at. So here we got Tyler Columbus, who was in attendance, and he's kind of just going to describe, what he saw with the Bo Nix and Nik Bonitto fight. And it as silly as it may or may not sound to some people, this is a good thing, guys.
By the time I glanced back over there, we had a full-on melee going on. Bo Nix went up to Nik Bonitto, who's up in the pile, and Bo grabs Nik Bonitto's ankle and he starts pulling him out. Nick doesn't take kindly to that. Bo's probably still ticked off from a couple plays later where Nik Bonitto sacked him. He starts pulling that thing out of there. Was it that out of control? No, it ended pretty quickly. It's not like things spiraled. It's not like anybody got hurt, but Mike McGlinchey was angry. So whatever happened in that combination of plays, the coach has said enough. Nick, we know you're good. Nick, we know you can beat Garrett Bowles. Nick, we know you can get a sack. Don't do it in practice. You don't do it right now. You don't put our franchise quarterback at risk. Now, where am I at on training camp fights?
So that's kind of just from Tyler Columbus's, perspective there. If you have not seen his podcast, you should absolutely check it out. The guy's great. He was great on the radio when he was on the radio. Love listening to Tyler Columbus, man. You should definitely check out his channel. But yeah, that's kind of what happened. It was quick. These training camp fights are never like crazy unless it's like a joint practice. But usually if it's two men on the same team, it's usually nothing out of hand, man. But it is kind of funny that Bo Nix, you don't often see your starting franchise quarterback involved in a melee like that. So it is kind of funny, but it shows the fire that Bo Nix has, right? It shows the kind of guy Bo Nix is. And you think back to when he got sacked, or not sacked, but that he got chippy with Max Crosby, and he was like, I don't fear nothing, right? That's Bo Nix, and it's great to have a young franchise quarterback who doesn't take any nonsense. Then we got here, this is a funny one. This is Sean Payton discussing the fight between Bo Nix and Nik Bonitto. I thought this was funny.
I said to him last night, let me know the game where we're fighting, and then obviously then we're not as concerned about winning that game. And then, I'll kind of measure up the head coach and see where we go. And, we can all get ejected, but the game.
So there's Sean Payton making light of the situation. You never know, man. Sean Payton might have some hands. Who knows? But yeah, it's not a big deal, guys. It's just funny because Bo Nix was involved. Obviously, Nik Bonitto shouldn't be sacking the quarterback and taking him to the ground at practice. This is the NFL. That kind of stuff doesn't fly. That stuff didn't fly when I was playing in high school. So I can't imagine that they take too kindly to that in the NFL. Next up, we got, man, oh man, Bo Nix started the day off hot. He hit Jaylen Waddle on a 60-yard touchdown yesterday, down the right side, over Pat Surtain, the best corner in the game. And then he hit Evan Ingram on back-to-back 25-yard pass and a 15-yard pass following that. I mean, Bo Nix looks incredible, man. And you know what? How many times do I have to say it? We have heard franchise quarterback after franchise quarterback tell us, hey, it wasn't really till year 3 where everything just clicked. And I saw things before they happened. I knew what to expect in certain situations. Bo Nix is in year 3, man. And it seems like Bo Nix is going to take an even bigger step up, which is great. So I saw some people projecting, 4,000 plus yards for Bo Nix, 35 touchdowns. I'll tell you what, I would be happy with 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns. Like if we have a quarterback that hits that, we won the Super Bowl. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you see Bo Nix's stat line at the end of the season, and you see 4,000 plus yards, 30 plus touchdowns, and 12 or less picks, brother, we have another Lombardi. That's what that means. It's really that simple. Next up, we got Tyler Columbus again, my guy, Columbus. Check out his channel, man. The guy is fantastic. But he's here talking about this Jaylen Waddle beating Patrick Surtain. Apparently, Patrick Surtain didn't get beat all training camp. And then Waddle gets back to practice from his muscle tightness. And here we are. He's beating the best corner in the league. This is Columbus's perspective.
Look, Jaylen Waddle just reminded everyone why the Broncos made that splash trade. Jaylen Waddle reminded everyone today why the Broncos offseason that felt so boring for so long got exciting real quick when the Broncos made that trade, when Jaylen Waddle beat Pat Surtain for that 60-yard touchdown on the final day of training camp. That was the reminder that all the fans needed. We got a sexy new toy. That thing looks shiny, and I would imagine that Bo Nix is drooling at the opportunities that are going to be in front of him.
Absolutely. I cannot agree more, man. I was pounding the table last year. Obviously, I didn't have this channel at the time, but I was pounding the table last year at the trade deadline. Get Jaylen Waddle. He just fits so perfectly, and he's so perfect opposite Courtland Sutton. And then you see the reports that we have a new wide receiver potentially rising to stardom in Pat Bryant, and then also Marvin Mims. We know what he can do, and Troy Franklin. Like, man, all of a sudden we're looking at this wide receiver room, and it's an absolute strength on this team. It's insane. Bo Nix is not only going to take a step up in, his ability to process and seeing things before they happen, and, all the stuff that you heard guys like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady talk about that happen in year 3. Not only is he going to, experience that, but he's also got a weapon like Jaylen Waddle, who might be the best wide receiver talent-wise as far as his route running ability, his yards after catch ability, his speed overall, his quickness, right? He might be the most raw, talented wide receiver we've had in Denver in a long time, man. So this is really exciting to see where we can go. And then, of course, we got the Denver Broncos. Sean Payton said he was pleased with the Broncos' run game against the Falcons. I think our run game is going to be much, much improved this year. And I think it needs to happen, of course. Last year when J.K. Dobbins went down, our run game took a hit. And I think potentially, if you want to look back at that Patriots game, obviously it was an uphill battle regardless because we lost Bo Nix against the Bills, right? But in that Patriots game, if we had a top flight run game, we still might have played in that Super Bowl. So I think a run game unlocks this offense completely, along with Jaylen Waddle, along with Bo Nix being in year 3. And I think that's exactly what we're going to get. And I think the secret sauce to this run game, yes, it will be running back by committee. Yes, it is good that we have 3 guys that we can trust, right? In J.K. Dobbins, R.J. Harvey, who I believe led the rookies in touchdowns last year, offensive rookies. And then we got Jonah Coleman. Man, our run game all of a sudden looks like it has massive potential to deliver for this team. And that is why I am really tempted to take Jonah Coleman in fantasy. RJ Harvey is kind of more of that receiver role back. But man, if Jonah Coleman can just really nail down his pass protection, I could see him getting as the season goes on, I can see him increasing his snap count significantly as we march towards the playoffs and march towards February. So I'm thinking about taking Jonah Coleman. Let me know what you guys think. Which running backs are you taking this year in fantasy football? And then, of course, we got our man, Dan Orlovsky, who keeps defending the Broncos, man. It's great to see that we actually have somebody who's willing to speak the truth and speak facts about our football team. Because how many years has it been, guys, in Broncos country where it feels like we're crazy because we're like, hey, man, Bo Nix is not bad. Sean Payton is a great football coach. And people look at us like we're the crazy ones. Well, here we are. We are in the midst of the quickest rebuild in NFL history, and it's all with Sean Payton at the helm and Bo Nix leading the charge. So look at that. This is Dan Orlovsky. When it comes to the Broncos, he says this roster is absolutely loaded. It's a Super Bowl winning coach They're going to have one of the best offensive lines in football. They got plenty good players on the perimeter. They'll have a top 10 run game. They got a clutch quarterback. They've got a defense that is as good as anyone's in football. They're the best team that for some reason we are constantly overlooking. How true it is. Everything he said in that statement is 100% true. And also, chat, I just want you to know, if we have the best offensive line in football, one of the best, right? We have a damn good roster for receivers, and overall tight ends, I would say, is pretty decent, right? And if we have a top 10 run game, we got a clutch quarterback. We know that one. And our defense is top 2 in the NFL. If all of those things are true, there's no reason we ain't playing on that field in February. I'm sorry. It's just the truth. This team is too good. This team is too good. And what we have built here is very impressive. And I feel like we should all take a moment to just kind of appreciate the times that we are in now. It wasn't too long ago where it felt like we were in the doldrums with no hope. Insert Sean Payton, insert Bo Nix, and here we are looking at a possible Lombardi coming in 2027. Now, we're going to end this with the move the Broncos made, signing safety Taylor Rapp. Now, he is somebody that I kind of mentioned. I believe it was Moose on Chat Sports mentioned this as well, that he would be a great depth piece. And of course, you know, some people don't really, they're not excited about it. Right. We didn't sign a starting safety, guys. We signed a depth piece. You know, Brandon Jones went down last year, and that, you know, we had PJ Locke who stepped in and did a great job filling in for Brandon Jones when he went out for the season. Well, we don't have PJ Locke anymore. So we needed safety depth just in case, you know, and you can't argue with more depth. Depth is only going to help. And then you have somebody who's got Super Bowl experience, playoff experience in Taylor Rapp. He's a vet. You got that as a depth piece behind Brandon Jones and behind Talanoa Hufanga, who's all-pro. Come on, man. There's no reason any of us should be hating on this move. This is a fantastic move. And then, of course, we got the Packers on docket for tomorrow. Let's just be frank, man. We're all looking forward to seeing how Bo Nix looks when he takes that field. I believe we may see Jaylen Waddle. And I am so interested to see. We saw the defense last week. The defense was the story last week. They absolutely slapped up the Falcons. So I can't wait to see this offense and what they look like against the Green Bay Packers tomorrow. And, you know, make sure you check in right here Saturday morning. We're going to talk about what happens during the game. I'm going to cover it all piece by piece, so don't miss that. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Any support I get, I am so very thankful for. And God bless everybody. I, you know, wish you nothing but the best. And comment down below, man. Let me think, or let me hear your thoughts on everything I had to say in this video. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. And Broncos Country, salute.